There we go. Welcome to the stream. I'm EDDF Toxic. I'm just plugging in headphones here. And by headphones, I mean earbuds. So anyways. Take a drink of water. So this is a 2-hour track challenge premiere stream, which means I'll be doing a 2-hour track challenge premiere at the start here, and then later I'll shift into just working on some projects, which, why is iTunes asking me to sign in? The project I've been working on lately is the 2-hour album challenge site, but we'll get there later. That's, where am I trying to go? This one right here. So let me just find my marker button so that I can export this 2-hour track challenge premiere alone without the rest of the stream. And then I'll start. Welcome to the 2-hour track challenge premiere for June 27th, 2019. Every week I try to find a couple hours to make a song within the time limit of 2 hours. And whatever I have at the end is my song. Sometimes I use it as a starting point, but mostly it's just my chance to experiment with styles that I don't normally get to use in my main project, and also just push myself in the time limit to still make something good and interesting. Sometimes it comes up with cool results, so I like to share it with the world. First in this premiere, this is broadcast live on Twitch, and then I'll start off by playing the song for the first time, and then I'll take a look back at how I made it, and then make up a quick video so that it can be put up on YouTube and listened to alone. So we'll start off with that first listen. Here we go. So that song started off well, kind of in the same area as the last few songs, where I sort of said that the last I'd been doing songs that are just kind of boring, throwing a few instruments together, and essentially they're just sort of a loop with an ending. So this was, again, me trying to branch out in the song structure and make it a little bit more exciting. Also, I was thinking about my electric bass, because I hadn't pulled that out in a while. I hadn't played it, and so I said, you know what, I'll make a song with that. But I actually started off by with the drums. This is from Easy Drummer. There's this really cool preset that I used it a while ago on somewhere. This one here, No Concert to Get High on. I'm pretty sure that's the same preset that I used there. Because when you hit anything, it kind of does this delay thing, which sounds really cool. And in No Concert to Get High on, there's I think that I have a few other effects in there. I can't quite remember. But that whole song was kind of inspired by the cool effect of this delay that's built right into this this preset, right? Yeah, so there's the delay there in the mixer. But I started off this one with actually just keeping it very, very sparse. And actually that was it right there. That's kind of how I came up with that rhythm. It's just... where's the full button? I know there's a way to do this, and I can't find it. I'm zoomed in way too far. But yeah, it's essentially just kick, and then another kick shortly before a snare, and just a bunch of that. And what else do I have here? This is a hi-hat, I think. Some cymbal. It's not actually showing on here. So I kept it very sparse, just to give that amp delay a little bit of a... that's his hi-hat. Give it some space to make those cool effects, or let those cool effects ring out. And then I also added in a reverb, which is automated. Somewhere. Automated the pre-delay as well as the decay time, and it's just random ups and downs, just to give it a little bit more variation than just that simple rhythm over and over again, because that is just a loop. And at this point, the pre-delay gets a bit high. And the decay time gets a little bit higher as well there. So when I recorded the bass, I kind of kept it as something very simple, to just kind of keep it with the same theme of giving space, right? So when we get to the point where where I get the delays or the reverb really high, I think I did a little bit of variation with the bass in there, just to give it a little bit more excitement as well at the same time. Yeah, like that extra little tap there, like that. And then the bass just gets really very simple rhythm, just a bunch of 16th notes probably. I'm not going to count that, I don't feel like it. But the drums also, once the song really gets into it, it switches over into Easy Drummer's patterns, which I grabbed from the search and probably use Song Creator, yeah, to find some more that fit in. After this quick little intro thing, which is the same sort of thing as before. Kick, kick, snare, kick, just to start the speed up a little bit. I didn't want to close that. But I built this whole thing, laid it out. So I got a verse, a little pre-chorus, and a chorus, and then a verse, and then a pre-chorus, and then a bridge. Then a verse and a pre-chorus, and then the ending. And this bridge was actually originally just one of these blocks wide. So when I recorded the bass, I kind of recorded it in pieces just to, again, lay out the song before I really get into recording it properly. So I screwed up somewhere and had to stop and start re-recording. But I didn't mind. And that the effects of the amp delay kit sounds pretty cool when you're doing a bit more upbeat thing too. But yeah, I had stopped a few times and restarted recording until I got the thing laid out. And when I was recording the bridge here, the bass is just a single pluck. I think I actually did this with my pick. I can't remember, but I feel like I did this with my pick. But yeah, when I was recording that, it just felt like it needed to go one more time over, so I stopped recording the bass, copied this and moved this all over, and then recorded the ending on the bass line. And then once I was happy with the way the bass line was laid out with the drums, then I could go back and record the whole bass line as a single take, which is this take here. Just sounds better if it's all one take instead of just stitched together. And then, of course, like usual, like usual lately, I added in a little orchestra sort of thing with this is all using a symphony series again. And one of the things that I wanted to do here was sort of experiment with, because previously when I'd use this, I just kept sticking to the ensemble, string ensemble, the brass ensemble, and the woodwind ensemble. But then the week before this was when I did an early winter walk in the park, which was completely using solo instruments and really controlling the little pieces inside the orchestra rather than the bigger pieces in the orchestra. So I wanted to sort of see if I could again control the little pieces of some of the smaller pieces of the orchestra in this song. So here it's just an ensemble, so that's just the entire string section basically. Was it all the strings? Yeah. So that just does some chords that fit with the bass line. That first note is just telling Contact what to do, what style they should be. But then I got a brass section, which again there's an ensemble just to hold chords, and the woodwind also have an ensemble in the verses that's just the chords. But then when we get to this chorus, probably, yeah, then I started breaking it down into the strings are still going with the full ensemble. The horns kind of take off on their own here. So the horns and the trumpets are just doing chords again. That sounds better. Somehow it was on the wrong thing. Right, okay, so I see what happened there. If we watch this here, this first note here tells it to turn into sustain all mode in articulation. So it's just sustaining all those, just blowing those notes. And then right around here, there's that little note there that switches it to staccato. And that's just so that the ending... These are just a bunch of little blasts instead of trying to sustain those little blasts. It's just a bunch of staccato blasts. So the trumpets and the horns both do that. And then the trombone sort of takes off on its own little melody here. And I have this open for a reason, because I did do a couple little pitch bends, because it is a trombone. I guess it would be more of a slide, I think. But you know what, that was close enough. I'm on a time limit. It's very subtle, but it just kind of slides into the next note. So that makes the whole chorus sound like this. And then it goes back into the verse again. And then we get to the bridge, as defined by this. And for the bridge, I used this here. I found in this search. It was called Dance. It's actually this one right here, Bridge 03. Dance 150 BPM, even though this is 120. I threw that in. And that's why this flute solo is called a dance flute solo. But yeah, again, it's the same sort of thing where the strings... Well, actually, there's nothing. The strings cut out. There's nothing in the brass section. And the rest of the woodwind ensemble cuts out. It's just the flute at this point. Just the flute and the drums. And that quick little shot of bass every measure. I forgot the word there. There is also an auto pan on the drum track, which is very, very apparent in that bridge there. Also in the intro, but that's the other place where I really hear the auto pan. Just kind of make it shift from left to right a little bit more. But yeah, and then it's just a bunch of chords until the end. And when I look back at this song, one of the comments that I made the first time I listened to this later, that is a really weird fucking chord that I used at the end. One of the comments I made to myself is that it's kind of like it gets this really cool intro, and then sort of somewhat of a boring verse, and then a cool chorus, and then a boring little verse, and then a cool bridge, and then a boring little verse, and then an odd outro. But I kind of like that being odd, because I'm an odd. So yeah, and then the ending is just, yeah, that. I'll have some automation on the master, which is my normal habit, just to turn down the volume during this last measure, just in case there's still a cymbal ringing out or whatnot. I don't want it to just suddenly cut off. I want it to nicely and quickly fade out, instead of ringing out for ever and ever until the end of time. And I do that in here just because it gets caught up by Vox and Go, which is how y'all are hearing the stream, the music right now. If I automate this like I used to do, that doesn't get picked up by the stream, so it's a little bit weird. It's even when I hear it through these earbuds. That's also going through here, so this misses that. It's just a personal preference there. So yeah. I need a name for this song. And so far I have no ideas, so I'm just going to play the song again and just think really hard as I do so. Yeah, I have no ideas at all here. How about, like, something about reaching? Reaching for the stage. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but it's kind of a neat name. Reaching for the stage. Just for the sake of it being a cool name, I think I like that. And I guess it sort of somewhat fits with the narrative of this, as a narrative for the structure of the song, in a way. Reaching for the stage. It's probably lowercase the. Fuck it. It's capital. Just fuck it. I don't care. That looks weird, lowercase. So I'll apply that there. Let me put that in here. Reaching for the stage. 20. Somehow I hit the same number that was already there. No, wait, I hit an arrow is what I did. June 27th, that's the right date. Yep. Right, so I'll export that. No. Close that. Open the other document that I need to... that thing there. Reaching for the stage. See, now that I do this, I need to type the title 4 times. It's kind of weird. I need a picture of this song. And I'll use this here. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? There we go. Copy. Ooh. Right, export that for 627. I'll close this. Might as well switch this back to my normal setup now. And then I will pull up the script to make a video for this. 627. Put in the date. Oh, 627. Just had to check for a second. It is June, right? Not July. But July 27th hasn't happened yet, so this is what we want. That is not what I want. Cool. So that's going. And I guess I can end the premiere off there then. So I've made 2-hour track challenges since then. Well, one of them specifically. So the next one is it's sort of a mix between crunchy drums, orchestral fullness, and a rock section. bit of a weird one, but yeah, I'm going to premiere that on July 17th, 2019. And now let's shift the stream over to do some work on things. And I'll actually start that with just turning on some music. Actually, I'll switch up my audio setup here because I don't like wearing earbuds all night. I'd rather listen to the music on my main speakers. So let's see, abstraction. Yeah, let's draw on covered in cats.
All right, it is 12.
You are going to the wrong speakers. We have 3, no, that one there, I think.
01 November 1st.
Yeah.
I am sitting down at my desk with a big ass pile of Halloween candy.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna make some music.
Right. That's
Here we
finished. Check that out later. Switch that so that I can actually see things. And I'm just pulling up my notes for the project that I'm working on here. Which actually, I guess I'll pull up the project here. So the basic idea of this, of what I'm working on is, let me switch my stream category before I forget again. That. Cool. So what I'm working on is I just did a 2-hour track challenge premiere. I like to do a 2-hour track challenge every week, and every few months, we as a community we also do this 2-hour album challenge thing, which is the same sort of premise, except a bunch of us do it based on the same theme, which will be randomly selected when the event starts. Actually, by the way, Volume 7 is starting like next week, basically. So if you're interested in that, for sure check out this this site and join us. I'll just drop that in there. But sidebar aside, this website is like we came up with this idea in Discord. We started. We still use Discord to communicate like what the theme is and whatnot. But this website is just kind of something that's been threw together to have a good place for an Q&A, prior challenges, and things like that. And I've always looked at this and said, we could have so much more power in this, right? On top of that, I've been wanting to figure out how to do how to make a website using Node.js instead, because I'm used to doing PHP. What the fuck? So I decided to, like, I took a tutorial a while ago, and I decided I'd try out a more practical example of why do I have such trouble with autocomplete right now, or tab complete? Try out my own with sort of a few extra features. Not 96. Oh wait, we need 127. That's why this page did not wash it. But that is one of the things on my to-do list to fix that. Also, I should probably open the database if I want this to work half as good. So yeah. This is something that I started working on shortly after Volume 6. But then I kind of lost track of it because I was focused on another project of mine, which want to get done real soon. And then a few weeks ago, I decided to start working on this on stream instead. So last week, when I was working on this, just log in here. Cool. 93 packages to be updated. I'll worry about that later. What the hell? Why do you hate me? I don't wait. There we go. So now I can access the database. Last week when I was working on this, I had this problem where it was loading the page, but all the styling wasn't there. And I was having all sorts of problems figuring out why. And turns out I was almost there. I woke up the next morning and I was just waiting for my boss to pick me up because we had to take a trip that day. And I realized what was wrong, so I opened this up and fixed it real quick. Let me open up Atom so we can actually see. It turns out it was a really simple problem. And actually I may have the problem elsewhere, so we'll double check that. And right now I'm just sort of cleaning up my code because I made a mess of it while I was working on while I was initially working on the thing. Right, so here's the load function for the main frame. This starts off by trying to see if it's an asset. If it's not, then try loading the frame. Or yeah, just load the main frame of the website, which is that, and all the HTML code in behind. But what was happening was, I'm used to, like in normal JavaScript, if you say var and then a name, that creates a global variable. And apparently Node is opposite, in which if you don't put var, that means that it's global. So I didn't have var here. That meant asset was a global variable. So when it loaded when I was trying to load all five assets, which are like things like the style sheet and the jQuery script and the popper script and the bootstrap script, and my primary connection script, the browser basically sent all those at once, and or at least close to at once. And since my code was using a global variable asset, it just kept changing out what asset was every time the server received something. Which is bad in this case, but I also got to keep in mind that this server is running for everybody that connects to the site. It will all run through this, right? So if there were more people connecting at the same time, man, that would have been even more confusing. So yeah. So to that point, right there, that's another instance of that bug. If two people connected to the site at the same time, it would have replaced main content key with the request key of somebody else's for one of them, which would have been really frustrating. So we got that fixed now. Do I need... This is on the client side. That should be good. And that... Yeah, I better var that. I'm probably going to rewrite this code anyway, but I'll just var it for now. Make sure this still works. It does not, because problems with the SQL connection, and I'm not sure what that is, but I'll look into that later, right? So let me just commit that. Fixed a couple extra instances of global node variables where they should be local. Just delete that in because I wrote too much. Cool, let me take that off my list. Right, so the next thing I want to do is when I this server.js here, this is the file that Node runs. This is sort of the starting point, and right now it's just cluttered with a whole bunch of stuff. And I want to slim it down to put all these in their own modules, which is why there's a whole bunch of code in here instead, because this all used to be in here as well, and I really didn't like it. So I think actually this create server here, this callback here is whenever there's a connection. So I will take this whole function and put it here. Module.exports dot accept equals function. Oh wait, function, yeah, like that. And then I'll just should I just put this in there? Yeah, I think I'll just put this in there. There's no need to call an extra function there. Just put this in place. Request key response. Request key response is all the same variable names. So that should do well. And the reason this is a separate function is just because it's called in two possible places. So now when I say create server here, I can say, what did I call that? Frame loader? Which actually I should rename that. But frame loader dot accept. So let's say, let's rename this actually. I don't want this to say server, this folder anymore. So let's say primary frame, or actually let's just say frame. Actually, let's move this folder frame out here. And then it just merged with that folder, of course. That's fine. That's the main HTML frame. And then the main server will say frame connection. And rename this to connection. So now we say require that from /frame/ connection.js. What is this? This is the main... Oh, this is the front end JS file, okay. So frame connection... Because we're going to have like a frame connection and then a socket connection. I'm pretty sure this album's not going to last this whole time, so let me just find something else. put on afterwards. Let's do one last bonfire, sure. Right, so that has been simplified to 2 lines to create the server. In this file, at least. I should probably check that, actually, test that. Is the word I'm looking for. And it still works. Cool. The connection, yeah, the assets are there. Just trying to keep this clean. So I'll commit that. Moved entire frame connection function into its own module. Then eventually I want to also move all this into its own module as well, or move all this into its own module, which will eventually break into its own submodules. Just gonna figure out how to do that. How I want to do that first. Yeah, WebSocket server needs to be cleaned badly. So I did that. And the next thing that I have on my list is actually to clean up the socket stuff. So let me move that out there, and now I can delete this folder because it's driving me bananas. I don't have a folder called server. Yeah, God. Gone. I mean, oh God. Had the wrong button and then things popped in my face and it confused me. So let's see, how should we do this? Because I'm thinking it will still be a single connection. Actually, that would be right here. Yeah. It's kind of weird having a connect and a connection. So this is where it connects to. I mean, that's gonna have to change eventually because I don't want that to be. Oh yeah, and this is I want to clean up as well. But I gotta figure out how to do that because that's all gonna be page by page basis as well. Let's worry about the server side for now. So when you load the page, it's going to send a message to the connection, which is up there. That's the WebSocket. A message connection always has an action. And actually, let's start by creating a new file here called connection. Which is sort of the same purpose as this, except it's in the socket connection, related to the socket specifically, and that will be this primarily. Socket connection dot accept. Yeah. So here we have module.exports.accept equals that function. So that makes that available. Oh, if we actually say that socket connection is a thing. socket connection is equal to require socket.connection. I thought my my now plane was broken there for a second. WebSocket equals that. That's good. Var test. What the fuck? Change my keyboard layout there. That will have to go here. Because that's referenced at this point. And then HTTP we still need here. FS we don't need here anymore. URL I do need here, I think. Do I? Or is that in here now? Do I ever use that at all? I don't think I do anymore. That's weird. Alright, remove. And then MariaDB I definitely don't need here. Collapse those a bit. And I'll move that comment about needs to be cleaned badly into here. Cleaned badly. So frame server, and then WebSocket server. And if this function was a little bit more complex, then I'd put it in its own thing as well. But I don't think it needs to be. WebSocket server port, socket port. And this actually will go up here. So I'll organize it so that sort of the node modules, or modules that that are downloaded, are up first, and then my own custom modules for this project specifically are in this little block here. And the server port and the socket port, which I guess I don't know, would it be better to, yeah, I'll just do var. Not like it matters because this is the first thing that runs anyway. It's not like it's ever gonna change. I wonder if it would be any memory difference. I think this will be fine. So that should mean that I can do this, and it breaks. Of course it breaks. Why would it not break? Server cannot find module dot slash server slash socket slash test. Oh, okay. So that would be here. That's just here now. That would be why. Boom. Error during action processing. FS is not defined. Okay. So that's here, right? Var fs is equal to require fs. And just loading. Because it can't do anything else. WS is not defined. Of course it's not. Ah. Right. Okay.
What drives a creator to create? For some, it may be the legacy of fame or the luxury of fortune. But for many,
So the reason this is happening is because WS was defined when this function was made. And then it's here, but it's not since I moved this function into here, it doesn't exactly exist anymore.
Wells up and presses against other functions of the mind, disrupting them.
I don't need a name for that. I'm pretty sure I don't need a name for that.
As the desperate rattle of a painting, or novel, or album drowns out all other thoughts.
So,
Days or weeks are lost while plumbing the depths and branching ideas
trying to
of possibility.
think abstractly here because I think I can. I'll just move this now, right?
Recreate his reality, the immaculate vision of the mind.
And I'll call this function.
Oh, those highs. When art
Oh my God.
flows and you are a conduit for lightning.
Module dot
When knowledge,
exports
skills, and training finally align into a perfect focus, turning random, diffuse
Dot,
light into a hot, fast laser beam.
I should put this in this file anyway, so that's why I'm doing this before I know what I'm doing.
The feeling that seems to justify this brief, fragile
Dot start.
existence.
So now we have the socket connection. There's a function called start,
So open that release valve. Just a little bit.
which is that.
Let the demons play for a while.
And how do socket connection? That's what I was looking for. Socket connection dot start, and then I can paste that there. I'm also just noticing that I used constant there, which was based on the tutorial. So let me just verify what this is const. The technical living is compiled language is a constant, yeah. Recent loosely used term. Oh yeah. JavaScript engines actually compile JS code to get better performance. Interesting. So using the const keyword would inform that the optimizations described above are possible and should be done. Okay. This results in better performance. Okay, and then the human related, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. So since the WebSocket server is never going to change, so actually these should be constant. I just had another idea to simplify this file even further by creating a start function inside frame connection that does both of these lines. You know, minimal thing, but it feels a bit more organized. I'll do that in a minute. I'll just worry about this first. So if I say accept equals function. WS on. Node WS on. See if I can find the proper documentation for that. WebSocket or server? No, I want the. Wait. No, it's the WebSocket itself. I get this mixed up all the time. Event message. Oh, right, okay, so on means when this event happens, so event message, this makes sense. Data emitted when a message is received from the server. But I need to know Yeah, we'll just take this function, put it back in here. That should work. Oh. And then this can be broken down further. Or message WS. Even better. This code is garbage, but I'll worry about that in a minute. So now when I say, now I can take all this, put it here. And then say on a message, then you open up a function which calls another function with the slightly different parameters than the one that was open there. So, assuming I know what I'm doing, which I probably don't. Holy shit, it worked. Something must be broken back there, right? I cannot believe that worked. So yeah. So I'll commit that, say, moved socket connection basics into its own module. And then I will do like I was saying here, where I'll actually make this say that will be that will just be a function called connect. And then module that exports, right? Yeah. Module.exports.start will be just a function with no parameters that does. Wait, no, I need the port. It does that. So I can say port connection connect will be the function for that. And then here I'll say socket connection dot start on socket port. Which now that I look at that, that can be simplified even further. I don't really need that as a constant anymore. Wow, this looks so much cleaner than before. But at the moment, it's like the Berenstain Bears hiding their, when they're told to clean the room, they just put everything in the closet. And here you go. There's the closet. This is an absolute shitstorm right now. But it's getting there. I do sometimes start, when I clean, I'll just start shoving everything into a room just to get things. It will be a mess in one place, and then completely clean in another place, and then I can start from scratch, sort of thing. No, that's lightning. For newer Apple products. Sister just like, is this USB-C? Cool. Let's do the same thing here. So socket port 8080, and then this would go away there. Connection accept will be its own function. Module.exports.start equals function port, which is that. Except accept is now here. Oh, now she's sending me another picture, so I'm guessing she's asking if that's USB-C. Start 80. I guess server port was kind of a bad name now, because that should be a frame port. Oh my god, what the fuck is she doing? Oh god, that's a terrible picture. Make USB-C. Cool. So super simple server file. I like that. And then start creates the server on the port, creates the event for the connection, and then prints that to the console. So I think this should work. So let's restart that. Oh, nope, HTTP is not defined. Right, that makes sense because I'm getting my mics mixed up there. Because I have HTTP here. And that needs to be there. And this one will need, it's not needed out here anymore, but it is needed here. Wow, look at that, 4 little lines. Up there. I bet I could simplify that even further by just putting start at the end of the require. But I'm not sure if I want to do that. Server's been started on port 80 socket. Server started on port 8080. Invalid JSON, object to object. Unexpected token O in JSON at position 1. That is correct. I also just noticed another issue in that this here should say frame server, and that's correct. It says socket server. But now, what is this all about? Invalid JSON, object, yeah, why is it sending an object in JSON? Unexpected token O. I know what this means. Did it say invalid JSON? Yeah, so that would be here, probably? Because I don't think it says invalid JSON anywhere else. No. So why is message object? That's what I need to figure out. Connect that JS. Wait, it would be somewhere out here. Somewhere in here, I guess. So WSS on connection connect. Let's see. console log here. And then restart that. Try that again. Huh. Well, how? That makes no sense at all. Console log came before the accept message. Raid! Welcome into the 4 of you that stayed around. I am currently debugging code. If I would have prepared for that, I could have done that longer, but I was in the middle of a breath and I just impulsively did that. But thank you. Right. So how'd the stream go, component? And why is this not working? This should... There's the correct order, right? Yes. Why is it saying hi, 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 hi there? Oh no, because that's right. Spring went well, awesome. Yo plus message. I'm not working on music right now. I did change the stream category, didn't I? I'm actually working on a programming project. Essentially, I think I've actually showed you this before. Got this site that I'm experimenting with a different design of, and I can't show you right now because it's I just rearranged some of the core code and it's didn't take to it all that well. So I'm just trying to figure that out. So let's see here. Let's try refreshing that. Yeah, it's just not logging this, and I don't know why. Because it should be logging that. Connect WS on message function message. Let's see here. Console.log here. Whoop. Restart server. I find it very weird that it showed that twice. Oops, punched my mic.
I'm just sitting.
All right. Have a good evening, you two.
Watching the time go.
I'm just sitting
I swear I've listened to this album in its entirety before and I don't remember this.
slow. Just sitting here, wondering what to do. Just sitting here, writing a song for you.
Okay, let me try putting this. You know what's super weird? Is it was working when I had this elsewhere.
So I play these
Export.connect.
keys and sometimes pluck some strings. I play these keys and wonder what it really means.
Let me try moving that out there again, see if I'm losing my mind.
Wishing that you were too.
Suck connection.
Just sitting here, writing a song
Bad code.
for you.
But that's okay. Suck connection dot connection. Server started strangely.
Can I be real for a minute here, guys? I
Sure.
really want to thank each and every one of you for how the past few
WebSocket is not
years
defined, of
played
course
out.
it's not.
If it weren't for your support, I might not be doing music at all anymore. Like, maybe I'd be in a wood shop making furniture or something instead. But seriously,
I am trying to
it's
imagine that
not
band.
like I have millions of fans or anything, but when I'm having a bad creative drought,
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
all the messages and kind words you've sent me over the years, and
Server started strangely,
pull me out of it.
which is what I wanted it to say.
At the risk of sounding cheesy.
Okay, so it
I
is
might make these
doing that
songs
out here
for
too.
myself, but all of you are a little part of me. as
Okay,
well. So I really appreciate all of you.
so I just lose my mind.
Thank you enough for that.
So that should just say that. This song's pretty great. Just for the sake of completion, or complete testing, I mean, copy that there, see if that helps at all somehow. Nope, didn't think so. Hey, I knew that sounded like a different album. This album I actually listened to a few times. Function WS console.log connected plus WS just to test, see what it says. Just kind of scraping a straw sort of thing. It still says invalid JSON, which it should not have. So I'm clearly overlooking something. And it's gonna be one of these things where I just, I'm gonna slap my head when I find it. Socket connection is ./socket/connection, which is that. Yeah, that's right. And then I say start. And that goes here. And I can prove that by saying console log hi. Something like that. Hi. Socket server started on port 8080. And it's already saying garbage. Why is it saying garbage? Stop. That's because the browser was trying to retry already. So it does get there. WSS on connection. Is there a connection ever happening?
Where all the instrumentation stops. Like the melody
That would be
line
here.
stops and the drums just carry on. They don't do a crazy drum solo, they just keep the groove going.
Wait, why is this not loading anything at all?
That's a break beat.
Because that's weird too. That may be a clue. So here's the frame server. Create server with a callback of accept, and then listen on port 80. So at the beginning of accept, let's say console.log half frame. Yeah, it just keeps on saying invalid JSON. That is really weird. Okay. But frame connection, that's right. If I were to knock this out, stop the page from loading. Frame server's been started in port 80. Oh my god, it's not even getting to the socket when it's saying that. Okay. Good to know. But invalid JSON is never said here. Never. This feels stupid to me, but, you know, I don't know Node enough. Maybe that's what I need. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Node some days. Right, drink water. MariaDB error, I'll worry about that later. MariaDB error again. Worry about that later. I should commit this. Say that I moved all base connections starting functionality into their own modules. Commit. I had one character left available in that commit. Right, so I think at this point I'll continue cleaning up this garbage here that I was testing things out, and it just literally says test, right? So what I'm thinking I want is just trying to think, like, content I have here, and that's sort of where that is. That's kind of weird that it worked with dot slash. I thought I would have needed a dot there, but apparently not. So we got the DB connection there. So yeah, I think I'll move content into here. Actually, let me see if that still works. It does not. Okay. But assets... Okay, so this is... the way I have this set up, it always goes from the root of the server. I wanted to mirror that anyway. That functionality. So I'll move current, create folders for each of these instead. Home, submit, and then move those into each of their folders. And then I'll create a new file called pages.json. And it's going to be sort of the same idea as this. And move this up top to a little bit. I can kind of mark that this is good code. I know I'm going to need FS. So I'll put that up there as well. And then I can remove that from here. I know I'll need WS. So I will move that. Can you come into the house any noisier, sister? It's just the way this house is. And then, oh, this shouldn't be assets, this should be pages. Oh, actually, no, that's not right either. I want to create a new file here. Load page. .js. Just have to think about that for a second because I almost put PHP, which is not right. And then essentially load page is this here. Module.exports. Actually, I'll just do load. Then I'll say data. Rename this file. Save it first. Rename the file to pages, or content actually. And then here we'll say, this is still wrong. If our content is equal to require ./content/content.js. That file goes here, and also let's just say pages. And then we'll see our content, so the content, what did I call the function? Load. And I send it data. And so this is where the weird thing is, right? No, that's fine. So in home, I'll have this file called, let's call it something constant. Let's say, actions.js. And then this will be layout.html. And all these, I just closed something I didn't want to. All these other ones will also be layout.html. Because that's essentially the layout of the page, doesn't have any content in it. It's just the layout of what goes in the middle here. Oof.
We're talking about our mind, our most valuable and precious resource through which we experience every single moment of our life.
Yeah, so this is gonna have to change again. socket/content/page. Oh, and I'll need the WS as well. Where was actions? Is that in home? Yeah, okay. So essentially that's what's going to become of this test file. Right? I think. Yeah, okay, I don't need this anymore. And then that's all the same. I don't need that. Just on stringify.
In the world in which we live.
So list home themes is a function within the actions for home. So test, I can remove that file now. I can delete that. And then var home is equal to require. I think I'll just call that home instead of home actions. /content/home/actions.js. And then I can say, I think I can remove this now. Load page there, and then list home themes. Home.list home themes. Actually, let's just call it list themes. Where'd they go? List themes. Send it WS. That makes sense.
The meditation is all about sort of stopping thoughts.
This needs data
Getting
and
rid of emotions,
WS.
somehow controlling the mind, but actually it's quite different from that. It's more about sort of stepping back, sort of seeing the thought clearly, witnessing it coming and going, emotions coming and going without judgment, but with a relaxed,
That's wrong.
focused mind.
/db. So because that's 2 layers up. Let's see what I got so far. An error. Oh, shit, where was that? Content.js. There it is. Equals function. Let's see. Loader.js 723. Okay, so that's not mine. Where in mine is it coming from? Content. 175. That makes no sense. Is it that? Unexpected end of JSON input. Oh, right, because pages.json has
You know,
nothing
we
in it.
can't change every little thing that happens to us in life, but we can change the
I
way
forgot to fill it in.
that we
So let's see.
experience it.
We got home, which is at socket content home layout dot HTML layout, and then we'll just do that for now. Current, which has a layout file at socket content current layout.html. Then we have a submit, which has a layout file at socket content submit layout.html. And that's about all in there. Boom. Require is not defined. Which file was that? Connection.js. This one here probably. Require. There we go. Server started. Loading, error during actions processing, action load page, page home. FS is not defined. That's here. So FS is in fact defined. Oh, but it's not defined in here is the problem. So content. I need var fs equals require fs. Restart. 404, this page did not watch this button. God damn it. Oh, because, right, I never did finish writing this. And it's gonna be something like this. So I'll just copy that for now. Our page info is equal to pages at page. Let's say page name here, because I know I'll be using that a lot. Less than page here. Page is at page name. Or actually, let's do page key. Okay, so page key, you find the page from pages at page key. If layout in page, if that doesn't happen, then I'll console error page at page key did not have layout file, and then we'll right head 404. Response isn't here. Never mind.
To breathe it slowly and deeply through your nose. Then breathe out slowly.
How deep do I want to go here? Because if should say content file. Actually, that would be, I guess, layout file. File equals node null. What the fuck is the keyword for that? Is it null? Yeah, it's null. I'm sure it's the same as in JavaScript. And then we'll say actually, let's say layout is equal to null. And then at the end here, we'll do the send with that layout, whatever it happens to be. Layout. If so, if layout and page, then we say layout is null. We'll just keep layout as null for that. And then fs.readFile page at layout function error content. If not error, then layout is equal to content. And we're already calling this a 200 back in the frame, so that's why I'm not sending back a response with 404. When it does feel kind of weird. I'm not doing that, but I can't think of any other way to actually get that header down there properly. Because anything to 404. It's just the way it loads the pages is always a it always loads the main content dynamically, so that's after all the headers have been sent. Unless I can send a header again every time I do that, I'm really not sure. But this is good for now, at least. So console error. Page key layout file does not exist, or at least that's my guess. So then here we say page at file. Oh, page at layout. Right, so now when we go down here, before we actually send, we'll just do one final check. If layout is still equal to null, then layout is the silly little message. And then I can just remove all this. Now one thing that I could do here is I could say, you know, when we have this error, I could say something specific about this, but that's facing the user, and I don't know that we necessarily need that unless I had some other goofy message that I wanted to say. So I could say like this error is did not watch its butt, and this error says to the user something else silly. That's a possibility. If layout in page. Actually, first I should check, especially here. I don't know why I don't do this in the asset. I'm gonna write that down before I forget. Fix asset not check asset loading, not checking if key exists in main asset. Dictionary. No, array. Arari. Because I know I'll forget about that, and then that's not exactly fantastic. Actually, I don't know that it needs to. Or wait, no, it already does. Let me. I shouldn't be getting sidetracked like this, but if request key in assets, right? Okay, so if it's not, then we assume that it's a different page. So that's what that is all about. So let me just remove that note that I just made because it is completely irrelevant. But here we want to say if page key in pages. This is making a little more sense. I'm like, there's some sort of error missing here. This is just a standard 404 that you'd expect. Like if you were to go here and type in, you know, a load of rubbish here, right? That's what this is, right? It's just you typed in the bad page name. The page doesn't exist. So I don't need to log that error to the console. I really don't care. These I do because that means there's something fucky in my code. Something missing in the array, or in the or the file's missing. Those are problems that I care about. That will still keep layout as null. So if layout does end up being null after all that, it creates that instead, and then sends layout. So I think that should work somewhat well for now. That's the wrong tab. It does not. Whatever. So let's see here. Console.log hi1 hi1. I'll just do these after every if statement. Hi2. Alright, even inside a function. Console.log. Oh, I know exactly what the fucking problem is, you know. fs.read file is asynchronous, as it should be, because it takes a little bit to actually read the file, and while it's reading the file, it just goes on past, and layout stays as null. So what we're gonna have to do about that then is I'm going to create another function here. And we'll see send equals function layout. And then we'll say send content, send null, else send null. And of course this is rather risky if I do miss in the way that if I miss one of those, then it will just be perpetually loading, but you know, I'm going to call that a bug. And I'm going to trust myself to not do that. Send null, send content. So that should work better. Loading. Oh, fuck. WS send. Right. Oh, I need to send WS with that. WS. Millions of little screens. Or not. Okay, so it what the hell? Console.log send layout. Yo. Send that. Yo. When did I tell that to read as UTF-8? I didn't. I must be remembering that function wrong. But it did say to send that, so... Why... Maybe it did send and it's just not receiving properly. That could be the case. Remove that. Let me see if I type in a load of rubbish. That works. Weird. Okay. So why is that the case, though? Let me inspect this from this side.
But this is different.
This is different.
Millions and millions of little screens who send a light.
That's not a thing.
So you become
Frame
hypnotized.
connect.
All that's on TV that just goes directly into your brain, and you stop judging if it's right or not. So you just swallow and swallow.
Let's see if I can put a breakpoint right around here. Actually, here. So refresh, and then it gives me data, which has an action of load page and a content of type buffer. Content of type buffer. Data. What the shit? Why? I swear it said it's not. It said it's not going to send a buffer. Why the fuck is it sending a buffer?
This is what an Icelandic poet told me once.
Um,
And I became so scared that I
Node.js fs read file. I need the docs for that.
But then later on, I stopped being afraid.
Read file.
I read the truth, and that's the
Read
scientific
file.
truth, which is much better.
So the second parameter is options, and if I put in an option, where's that? Here? Yeah. Put in an option here. I almost put it inside the function parameters again, which I do all the time. And I say encoding is UTF-8. That should load as UTF-8, send it through here as UTF-8, and then it should derive properly. Doop doop. There we go. Now we're golden. Right, so what did I just do? I've lost track. Move those. Favorite song on the album. So now I have this list home themes here, and I think I want to clean this up a little bit more, because I put it into a file that says actions. You know, we'll just commit this for now. Started organizing socket message into code into modules. Again, my goal is to clean this up, make it as simple as possible and organize, especially with this file. This file is bound to get really big because every page is going to have something different, right? And I don't want all those little messages to run through the same file in code. So I think I'm going to do here is, when I'm smiling, no, frame connect, okay. I'm trying to remember, this is all still a clusterfuck. Why is there a space there? Oh well. So there's connection. Sorry, this site is not just a browser yet. So load page when the connection first opens. But then, oh right, here it is. So when the client receives it in order to load page, it'll have content. And then I want this to main content key. What is this? Where does this come from? Oh yeah, okay, so that's a bug. But I'll fix that later. The bug I just found, I can't actually see it anywhere. But essentially if I were to click one of these links and it took me to home, it would actually not load the themes like it did there, but that's because of database crash. I'm still gonna figure that out. It would not load the themes because it's trying to, it thinks that it's still on the previous page. But we'll worry about that in a bit. I want to send the page as well as the action. So then the action can be simplified to say list themes. So now when I go here, I can say instead of list themes here, actually let's say also when we change the page, this should say page core. So now when we receive a message, we can start by saying if page in data. Actually, this feels weird calling core a page, so I'll just leave that out. If page in data, then we can, do we have, no I don't. I'll create a new file here, actions.js, and this will divert out to the rest of these action files, which there's one there. So var actions equals require ./content/actions.js instead of the home, and that one will be here. That still doesn't feel right. don't think it's quite gonna work. That's close. So if there's a page, then actions dot act, let's say, upon data. And module dot exports dot act is equal to function. It needs the data, it needs the WebSocket. And at this point, why do I smell tea? At this point, we do something like this here, where I'll need that. Actually, oh, okay. So, var actions I want to open the page.json here, and for home, at least for now, we'll have an actions file, which is at socket content home actions.js. Pages. Oh wait, no, we want to trying to dynamically load this actions file into a require is what I'm trying to do. And I feel like this is going to need more brain power than the length of this album, so let me just quickly drop another one on. Let's do Season 5 of 2 Hour Track Challenge, because I don't have anything newer in there yet. Soon I will, but I gotta organize other things first before I can put it in. So here's where that is. If page key oh, actually, let's say page key is equal to data at page, date.page. And actually right here, we'll just call this page. And then page data, even though this can pull it out, I just don't want to assume in here that it does actually exist. Even though I know that we already checked. And I don't want to check twice. I'll just send it twice. So page data and WebSocket, and then with that page, actually we'll call this page key here. If page key in pages, var page equals page key, pages at page key, and then we check if actions in page. If there is, then we say var actions. I hate having to type var to everything because I've been trained to not use var in JavaScript. Actually, I've been trained to not use var for other reasons in other languages too. But var actions is equal to require. This is going to be weird. Page at actions. And then we can say there should be some sort of check on here first. That actions dot module.exports dot act equals function data ws. Actions dot act on data and ws. So I'll double check that this works first. I don't want to send here. If page key in pages, else we'll just ignore this, I think. I should finish this before I forget. Else it's a core file, so we'll see. Well, I'll just... For now, I'll just put this in, right? Oh. There. Yeah, there we go. And we'll say that's no core action. Console error, invalid core action. And then we'll copy that thing here. Yeah, here. And then we'll remove the core one. Invalid action in home. No action in home, just so we can, if there's a console, an error in the console, we can see where exactly it came from. I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna fill my water and use the washroom. So just give me 2 minutes. All right. That there. Right, so invalid action in home, and then back here we'll say, we'll take this out. Invalid core action, and I should move this into its own file too, but don't worry about that for now. So now if we get a message, it's still a little bit of a big file, not too bad though. So if we get a message, it checks if there's a page in the data. If there is, I guess we don't really need that in this variable. I made that global anyway. That was bad. So we send along the page to actions, which is the primary one here, and then act finds the actions file for that page, and then calls act in there, and then act in here looks at if there's an action in page or action in data. And then diverts the message to whichever function in here it needs, which that's actually wrong there. So list themes WS, cool. So I think that should work somewhat for now. It does not. Cannot find module socket content home actions.js. Oh, right, I knew this. The problem is we are at where do we call this from? Right here. So it's /home actions. So error again. Message is not defined. Error during action processing. Right, where did I use message and lost the definition of it? So parse message. Oh, right, okay. Okay, you know what I should do? Is instead of console erroring here, I should... How do I throw in Node? Node throw error. I want to throw my own. Throw new error, something bad happened. Okay. So I'll do that here instead, because then that will get caught here. Throw new error, invalid core action, and when it gets caught here, then it will still show the message. Throw new error. And I have to do that here too. Throw new error. Because this is where the problem actually is, because message is not defined in this function. But if I throw new error from here, it will get caught back here where message is defined, then it can show the message like I want it to. wrong page. Right, so invalid action in home, that is correct because load page should not be sent here. Why did it get sent there? If page in data... Oh, page was not in data. Wait, no. Yes, it was. Page home. If page in data, actions act. You should be getting here. Console log hi. Oh, wait, I know what the fuck the problem is. Page is used twice. Ah, fuck. Right. That's actually hilarious. So what happened is, when I load a page, I send an action to load page, and the page it wants to load is, I send page, which is the page it wants to load. Now, when I send anything else, I send the page that we're on, which that's a bug right there, and the action that I want to do, and any other data that needs to be sent about that. So page is technically here. So I'll say load instead of page. So now when I go into the thing here, if the action is load page, then load data, content load data, where the fuck is this code? Here? Yeah. If load, there we go. Okay. Home is not defined. Let me just double check. Okay, so it's not listing the themes, and it's not because the data connection crashed again, it's because of this error here. So home is not defined. When did that happen? Oh, home, wait, home is not defined. That's because I used to have a thing called home that required home, but or the home actions file, but it's not there anymore. Now what file would that be in? Actions.act. It's probably here. Nope. Actions.act. Oh, in here. Oh, home. Jeez, there it is. List themes. Okay. Stop. There we go. Boom. Yes! Now, one more thing before I commit is that, it's just a safety thing. Fuck, where'd that file go? So var actions is equal to require page action. Was it this here? Yeah, okay, so we required page, require the actions file for that page, but there's no guarantee that there is actually an act. So I think I can check if act in actions, like that. Else throw new error, and I guess I should probably throw an error for the rest of these two. Page actions actions let's say use proper terminology here. Actions module for plus page key does not contain act. And this assuming I did the logic right there. So actually, let's test that right now. Act is not defined. Boom, that worked. Right, so now let's just do the rest of these, because these should probably error out as well. Or log an error. Throw new error. What is this? No actions file for... Oh, wait. Just copy this. Because I like this wording. Page did not have actions file. And then this is if the page doesn't exist. Which shouldn't happen. Throw new error. Page key does not exist in array. There is an extra thing there. There should not be. So that should still work as planned. Yes, it does. Cool. SQL connection dies again, but that's okay. Right, so modularized actions into their own pages. Yeah, and I like how I don't need to write the require statement for all the different pages, all the different action files for all the pages. There's a word that's on the tip of my tongue, you know? It's all defined by this file here, which I like. So now I still feel like there's... Okay, yeah, so this here, I wanted to move this into its own thing as well. So let's say actions.js. Actions.js already exists. Because I didn't want that there. Actions.js, that's right beside connection. Right. Var core actions is equal to require dot slash actions.js, and essentially I just want to move this there. Module.exports.act equals function. I'll need a data and a WS. I know that. And what the fuck is content? Shit. Do I actually need content in here anymore now? Nope. So I'll just move this down there. And then, of course, here core actions.act data WS. And I think that's going to be the final of that file. Let me just run a quick test. Home. Cool. Database just died again, or the database connection. I'll figure that out later. Right, database. Connection keeps dying. So I'm sure that's something simple in some setting somewhere. Yeah. I'm actually getting really close to finishing the core of how it loads files. So next week or the week after, I'm really gonna be starting to really start on working on the core functionality of this, which is really exciting because this has kind of been boring stuff for now, right? I just kind of have a few placeholder pages, but it's that's all just for testing. So let me just commit this before I forget what the fuck I did. Moved core action into their own module. Response. This is never used. Why the fuck is this still here? Die. Okay. Just, you know, that shouldn't affect anything from what that search that I just did, but you know, you gotta check. Cool. I'm noticing a pattern of when the database connection crashes too. So let's just commit this. Removed old, bad, and now unused. Response variable. It wasn't even, it was global too. That was really bad. Also, I like how it had a, let's see if it's still show that. I deleted a line and added a line. Okay, sorry, something's really bugging my eye. Feels like an eyelash, but, you know, that happens. Right, so there's one more thing I want to do before I run away for today, and that is getting the database structure into the commit, into the Git repository. That's not how I do that. 192. This is 146. I think I had it. Yeah. Password here is password. And I'm just gonna do a quick little get on my face. Hush. Just export just the structure, and I'll save it as a file. Don't need the comments. Don't need the auto increment value. Don't need those. Right, so that's there. Oh, I guess I can delete that now. That's an installer. Oh my god. And let me just move that into a folder over here. We'll call it... Wow, this is so much more organized, all these folders. Yeah, so now it's just the frame server, socket server, the node modules, which need to be there, all the stuff that node needs to be here specifically, and other stuff that needs to be there specifically, and then folder for style, since there's a whole bunch of stuff. Well, there will be a whole bunch of stuff eventually. But anyways, I'm just getting lost, and then I'll just create a new folder called install, just to put this database installation script in. And that's not right. We'll worry about that later. Just commit that. Added database installation script to Git. Just that if I lose the computer and I don't, like, the database really isn't that tricky right now. But I want to be able to quickly recreate the database if the server goes down and I need to rebuild it. So that's why I put that in Git, just like that. And I'll push that because I am just about to wrap up the stream, and I'm gonna do so by means of pausing that music. Let's exit all this. Oh yeah, another thing here is if I say node sir, I tab complete, and it actually gives me the right file this time instead of that folder that was annoyingly there. Sudo shutdown h0 2hack admin. Wow, I'm surprised I typed that right. I can close that. Why is there another one open? Oh yeah, right. That's what I was just about to do. Is this video that we exported earlier. Let me just make sure it worked. And then I'll wrap up the stream to the tune of... What did I call it? Oh yeah, reaching for the stage. Yeah, so the video worked. So yeah. Let me take this off my to-do list. So yes, this will be the end of the stream here. So thanks for coming out and watching and chatting and just hanging out. Again, I'm not going to be streaming on Saturday, but I will be back for the 2-hour track challenge premiere next week, July 17th. And other than that, I will see you around, and have a good life.